conversations last offseason was Caitlin Clark $100,000 an hour speaking gigs. Well, I'm here to tell you she is not taking long getting back to work, raking in the cash because she has landed.
It looks like Caitlin Clark has landed her first speaking gig of the offseason, guys. And honestly, she didn't even let the season cool off before cashing another check. Seriously, while half the WNBA is crying about CBA drama, Clark just picked up her first off-season job, and the league looks nervous.
Why?
Because this time, she's not chasing rebounds, she's chasing big-money microphones. Here's the question everyone needs to be asking right now. Is the WNBA mad or just jealous? I told you all, this woman doesn't rest. While the rest of the league is busy arguing about leadership, lockouts, and Kathy Engelbert's missing in action press conferences, Caitlin's out here signing speaking gigs. And yeah, not sponsorships, we're talking actual speaking gigs. Getting paid just to talk. And that's what's blowing everyone's mind right now.
Need the money to do unrivaled. She's landing $100K to speak to speak for companies and represent companies all over the country. She's not hurting for cash, and I just think this is just the coolest thing ever that Caitlin Clark is able.
And I'm not talking about some local school assembly either. No, we're talking corporate-level business conferences, $100,000, a pop kind of speaking gigs. So, let's rewind a bit. Last offseason, the internet went nuts when news broke that Caitlin Clark's public speaking rate was somewhere around six figures, about $100,000 an hour. People laughed at first until companies started lining up, and now, not even a month after the season wrapped, she's already booked again. Bro, the WNBA front office probably found out at the same time we did on Twitter, which is absolutely insane when you think about it.
So it looked like Caitlin Clark is headed to Long Island Association, bro. So it stated Long Island Association joined the Long Island Association's president and CEO, Matt Cohen, moderates a special conversation with Caitlin Clark discussing her record-breaking performances, impact, and cultural influence on October the 29th at 10:30 to 12:30 in New York.
So, here's what's happening right now. Caitlin Clark has been announced as the featured speaker for the Long Island Association's fall conference. And yeah, Long Island. We're talking big money, old money, golf course money here. She'll be sitting down with their president, Matt Cohen, for a special conversation about her record-breaking performances, her impact on the game, and her growing influence beyond basketball. And translation? She's the face of the sport, and the WNBA knows it. They know exactly what's happening here.
Just with working back to full health, Steph mentioned that it was kind of baby steps.
And this isn't some charity appearance either. This is a paid corporate event, because they literally said tickets are limited, sponsorships are open, and it's happening at the Holly Country Club, which, if you don't know, is not where broke people hang out. So yeah, Caitlin's getting paid, and paid well. Now here's the crazy part. Fans are loving it, but the league's front office? They're panicking. Because when your biggest star can make in 1 hour what half your roster makes in a month, that's a bad look. Let's do the math real quick. The average WNBA player makes about $120,000 a year, and Caitlin Clark can make almost that much in a single speaking engagement. And she's not even breaking a sweat. No fouls, no flagrant hits, no referees pretending not to see elbows flying. Just clean air conditioning and a microphone. Meanwhile, Kathy Engelbert somewhere in a boardroom trying to figure out how to convince these players not to lock out next season. And it's the perfect contrast when you think about it, because you've got players complaining about league pay and Caitlin Clark quietly proving she doesn't even need them. Now, don't get me wrong, Caitlin's not done with basketball. But this move sends a message. She's showing everyone that her brand is bigger than the league's brand. And that's what's scaring people, because when Caitlin Clark's face sells out arenas, sponsors start asking a dangerous question. Do we even need the league, or do we just need her? And that's where the WNBA starts sweating bullets, because the same thing that made them rich this year could make them irrelevant next year.
Making sure you don't lose what you've worked on this season. Just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for. And, you know, I need to be able to find some runs and some ways to play 5-on-5 just so I can kind of get that feel back. And, but more than anything, I think my main focus is really just getting my body healthy. And once we get back to 5-on-5, like just being able to test my body and make sure I know it's in a good spot where it's going to be able to hold up with everything that, you know, we think we've corrected or we think we've worked on, to be able to know I'm in a really good spot there. And, you know, when you go through injuries, especially in my scenario where it's been a few of the reoccurring kind of bouncing around, which isn't necessarily uncommon in my situation just because of compensation, and, you know, when you're dealing with things in that groin area, that just is kind of how it can go sometimes. I think it's important that you can become confident in your body again, and that's for anybody that goes through injury. So that's probably going to be my main focus is, you know, just feeling 100% again, and then obviously, you know, having that confidence in my body too.
This off-season gig at the Long Island Association isn't just a side hustle. It's a power move because it shows she's not waiting around for the WNBA to fix its image. She's building her own empire. And you better believe the numbers are massive because companies pay $100,000 plus for speakers of Caitlin's level. And you think they're paying less for the most talked about athlete in women's sports? Not a chance. She's basically doing TED Talks with a jump shot. And now, the funniest part is watching people online pretend to be surprised. Like, bro, this is the same Caitlin Clark that turned college basketball into a national event. The same Caitlin Clark who made Iowa games trend higher than NBA Finals highlights. The same Caitlin Clark who sold out every away arena in her rookie WNBA season. So, you thought she was just going to chill all winter? Nah. She's cashing in while everyone else's PR team argues on Twitter. But let's talk about why this matters. Because while Caitlin's setting up speaking tours, the WNBA is dealing with chaos. Like Nafisa Collier fighting the commissioner in public, Aya Wilson catching heat over ref favoritism, and Kathy Engelbert somewhere avoiding interviews. The league needed a good headline, and Caitlin just handed them one. Except it's not their headline, it's hers, and that's the key here, because she's not letting the WNBA define her offseason. She's defining it herself. And that's something the league can't control. Because when a player becomes bigger than the league, the balance shifts, and you can't bench her, you can't fine her, you can't silence her. She's got sponsors, media, fans, and now her own platform, and honestly, it's kind of poetic when you think about it. While other players are fighting for better paychecks, Caitlin's showing them how to create their own. She's turning fame into business. She's turning popularity into independence. And the WNBA doesn't know how to handle that because they've always relied on keeping their stars inside the system. But Caitlin Clark's proving she doesn't need the system to shine. And now, let's be real, some folks in the media are already spinning. You've got headlines like Caitlin Clark chooses corporate over team unity. And bro, stop. You can't be mad at someone for being smart. She's not abandoning the sport, she's expanding it. And it's not like she's skipping practice to shoot commercials. The season's over. This is literally what the offseason is for. NBA players host camps. NFL players do endorsements. Caitlin's doing speeches and getting paid what she's worth. And that's not greed. That's value. And you know who understands that better than anyone? The corporations writing those checks. Because they see what the WNBA sometimes forgets, that Caitlin Clark is global. Her fan base isn't just Indiana. It's Iowa. It's the Midwest. It's international. She's got kids copying her shot mechanics in Europe. She's got parents spending hundreds on her jerseys. And that's powered, S.O., when she books a $100,000 speaking event at a luxury golf club. She's not just getting paid. She's reminding everyone that her reach goes beyond the court. Now, let's talk about why this has the league in panic mode. Because whether they admit it or not, the WNBA's success this season was a one-woman engine. When Caitlin Clark played, ratings doubled. When she didn't, ratings dropped. And that's not opinion. That's numbers. S.O. now. The season's over, and the WNBA's biggest moneymaker is doing off-season events that don't involve them. They can't promote it. They can't profit from it. They can't even claim it. It's Caitlyn's world, and they're just living in it, and you can tell the panic's real because WNBA media is already trying to downplay it. They're saying things like, it's just one event. And yeah, sure, until it turns into 10. Because here's the pattern. Last year, one speaking gig led to 3 more. This year, it'll probably double again. And by 2026, Caitlin Clark might make more from her off-season speeches than her entire WNBA salary. And honestly, she deserves it. Because you can't have one athlete carrying your league, defending herself from dirty fouls, dealing with jealous players, and still expect her to sit quietly in the off-season. She's taking her piece and her profit. Now, let's switch gears for a second. Some folks are wondering why she didn't join Unrivaled, that player-run off-season league started by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart. Here's the simple answer. She doesn't need to. Unrivaled is great for players trying to make extra income, but Caitlyn's already making that. And then some that why risk injury in another league when you can earn the same money giving a speech in heels instead of sneakers? It's business 101. Work smarter, not harder. And this move proves Caitlyn's not just an athlete, she's a businesswoman. Some fans online are saying she should use her platform to fight for other players. And bro, she is fighting by showing them a better playbook. She's showing every young athlete that you can build your own brand, that you don't need to wait for permission. And honestly, that's what terrifies the league the most, because once players realize they don't need the WNBA to make real money, that control is gone. And we've seen it before. Shaq did it. Kobe did it. Serena did it. And now, Caitlin Clark's doing it her way. And this is just the beginning. Because her Long Island gig isn't just a payday, it's a signal to sponsors that she's open for business. So watch. Next comes a new Nike campaign, maybe a Netflix docuseries, maybe even her own basketball academy. And every one of those moves happens outside the WNBA's control. Meanwhile, the league's PR team is busy tweeting about unity and growth. And yeah, unity is great, but growth doesn't pay rent. And Caitlyn's not waiting for anyone to hand her a check. She's cashing them herself. Now, here's what makes this even more interesting, the timing. Her Long Island speaking gig happens right before Halloween, on October 29th. And you know what else happens that week? The WNBA's CBA expiration date. Yep, while players and executives are arguing over contracts, Caitlin Clark will be headlining a luxury business conference in New York. And tell me that's not poetic. Because the league might literally go into a lockout while their biggest star is speaking about leadership and success to millionaires on a golf course. And you know the press will eat that up. WNBA faces lockout as Caitlin Clark shines outside the league. They'll love that headline. And honestly, so will Caitlyn's sponsors. Because no matter what happens, her value only goes up. She's bulletproof. If there's a lockout, she still wins. If there's no lockout, she comes back even richer. Either way, Caitlin Clark stays winning, and that's the part the WNBA can't handle, because right now, the league feels like it's one headline away from falling apart. And Caitlin keeps reminding everyone she doesn't need them to keep winning. She doesn't need favoritism, special whistles, or fake ratings boosts. She's got something nobody else has. Universal respect. Because even people who don't like her game respect her grind. She's polite, professional, marketable, and ridiculously consistent. She's not out here posting petty comments. She's not starting fights. She's letting her bank account do the talking, and that's exactly why the WNBA's panicking. Because when the biggest star in your league can go out and make the same money on her own, it makes everyone ask a scary question. What happens if she decides not to come back? Let that sink in. Because if Caitlin Clark ever decided to take a break from the WNBA, or worse, go international, the league's ratings would collapse overnight. And judging by how easily she's getting booked for 6-figure speeches, she wouldn't lose a dime, and that's power. Real power. So yeah, the WNBA's sweating bullets watching Caitlyn's name trend again, and this time, not for basketball, but for business. And the best part? She doesn't even have to address it. She's not out here tweeting, arguing, or defending herself. She's too busy counting commas, because Caitlin Clark just turned her off-season into a business masterclass, While the WNBA is still fighting over leadership drama, she's building a legacy that pays, whether she plays or not. And let's be honest, Caitlyn's success doesn't just make money, it makes noise. Because every move she makes becomes a headline. When she plays, people watch. When she speaks, people listen. And even when she breathes, somebody at ESPN is typing an article about it. That's how you know she's reached a level no other WNBA player has. And deep down, that's what really bugs the league, because instead of the headline saying WNBA reaches new heights, they all say Caitlin Clark breaks another record. It's her name carrying the product, not the other way around. She's turned herself into a walking brand, like Jordan, like LeBron, like Serena. And the WNBA wasn't built to handle someone that powerful, because they want stars who shine inside the system. But Caitlyn is the system now. She doesn't need the WNBA spotlight anymore. The spotlight follows her wherever she goes. So, when she walks into that Long Island ballroom later this month, wearing a suit instead of a jersey, you can bet one thing. Everyone in that room will know they're not just watching a player, they're watching a phenomenon. So what do you think? Is Caitlyn changing the game for everyone, or just proving she's already miles ahead? Drop your thoughts below.